Yep, I did it. I did something, and I'm pretty excited about it. It'll take a few months to complete, but all in all, I'm pretty excited. Let me show you what I did. Yes, I sold the JLU, and that's my 2024 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. It's time for a new build. It'll take a little while, but I think it's going to be fun. So yeah, what was my reasoning for doing this and doing it now? I loved my JLU, my Rubicon. It got me through some great trips, satisfied most of my requirements, but there were a couple that were missing. Primarily around inclement weather. You know, when it's rainy out, it's just not something that you want to be outside in. So you're either stuck inside the cab or the seats of the truck, or you're putting up your tent early and you're crawling into your tent early. Yeah, I put up the awning, and that would solve quite a bit for rain, but not for really the second problem, and that was cold. You know, when it's cold out, especially when you're by yourself, it gets pretty boring pretty fast, and you just want the day to end so you can get back into that tent. And it just doesn't make the trip all that exciting when those things happen. Now, there aren't a lot of days typically that happens, but when they do, they hit you pretty hard and it makes for a long day. So cold, wet weather. But why did I do it now? Well, truck just passed 90,000 miles. I know once you hit 100,000 miles, the value starts to decrease pretty strongly, pretty fast. And like I said, I've been thinking about this for a couple of years, and so I started really doing my homework. Found a deal that I thought was satisfactory and decided, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger and do it. So that's what I did. Now, I was thinking about waiting till after I went to Alaska next year. But again, another 10, 15, 20,000 miles on the truck. And then I'm going to Alaska, which is probably going to be damp and cold at times. So why live through that anymore? So, yep, I pulled the trigger, going to do it. So now I'm on the process of building it out and making it something that will be very livable, very comfortable as I go forward, especially for Alaska next June. So that's why. So what's the plan? How am I going to make this build happen? Well, it's probably going to take 6 months or so. I know what I want to do. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about it. Going to go ahead and put an AluCab canopy camper, or the latest version, which I think is called the AluCab ModCap Canopy or something like that. Going to get it completely built out. Probably put goose gear insides in it. Get the right power requirements. You know, do it upright. This is probably, I say that, probably my last vehicle for doing this GBN adventure stuff. So I want to do it right. I want to make the right level of investments. Probably won't do anything for a few months. You know, I'll stop making arrangements with the builder. I'm not going to do it myself. I'll be heading into winter, and that's just going to be too impractical. Plus, like I said, I want to do it right. And I know if I do it myself, yeah, I'll save some money, but I may have some dissatisfaction with the end result in terms of craftsmanship. So yeah, I'm gonna go to professionals and spend a little bit extra money. You know, I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen, and this really is just a method for me to document that journey of building this truck out. I didn't do much on my last one, and I figured, hey, it would be fun to have something that showed how this one was put together. So, you know, you saw the Jeep Gladiator under its pristine condition just off the lot a few days ago, and by the time you see it again, you know, you'll start seeing some changes. I don't know exactly if they're all going to be done at once. I'm going to go to one place, or if I'm going to get a few things done locally, and then get a few things done where I can get the AluCab put in. So yeah, should be fun. Looking forward to it. Talk to you later. Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. It's been nearly 4 months since I gave an update on my Gladiator build, so I figured I'd do one. I've done a lot, although very little physically to the Jeep. The only things I've done physically to the Jeep is I've added some ball mounts so I could mount my phone and this camera, and added some mud flaps to protect the Jeep during the winter season against the snow and salt of New Hampshire roads. As far as the build design, that's complete. I've decided on just about everything. You know, you never know, there may be a few things here or there that I want to change. But I got all the parts sourced, I have them all priced out, and most importantly, I have a build date with OK Four-Wheel Drive down in New Jersey. That'll take place the last week of February and lasts for about 3 weeks. So yeah, that's a pretty big milestone to have set. Oh yeah, one last thing. I've given the Jeep a name. Since most of my trips are based on photography, I decided to name it Ansel, after the world-renowned landscape photographer Ansel Adams. Now, I've never given my Jeep a name, so this is pretty new for me, but yeah, Ansel, why not? So the only thing I have to do between now and the end of February is I'll probably get the tires changed from my 33s to 35s. I've been holding off, waiting to see if the KO3s come out in my size. To date, they haven't. But if I have to get the KO2s, that's not a big deal either, because I had KO2s on my last Jeep and I really liked them. So yeah, that's about it. And I'll catch back up when there's something additional to report. And for now, that's the update.
Right onto Washington Street.
Hey everyone, we are getting ready for summer. We are going to build a Jeep Gladiator from bone stock to full adventure vehicle, and we're going to take you along for the ride. So keep an eye on these stories. Every Friday, we're going to take you along for an update. We'll see you in the next one. Hey everybody, we are in the shop. I'm here with Jack, and we have a giant pile of stuff behind us. Jack, what are we looking at here?
Basically a full camper on a pallet.
This is the AluCab ModCap with the roof and damn near every accessory. There's even more stuff that you can't see that's behind here. So what's the plan here, Jack? What do you got going on?
Nose to the grindstone, you know, just building as much as I can with the camper off the truck first, set it on and doing everything else after. But I'm going to try to do as much as I can with the camper not on the truck.
Yeah, so all of this stuff is going to be installed on a Jeep Gladiator that's also getting a lift, wheels, tires, maybe. I know it's getting a bumper and a winch. And it's going to be a complete build, turnkey with goose gear inside. There's probably a fridge in this giant amount of stuff somewhere. Yep. So we're just going to follow along over the next couple of weeks while Jack gets this built and take you along for the ride.
Well, hello. It's May 2025, and I'm back at the same place I started on this build. And I figured I'd come out here because the build's complete, at least as any build can be complete. And I figured it'd be a good time to do a quick tour and see what kind of capability I built into this vehicle. Now, I only have one trip so far in this build. It was a 7-day, 6-night trip down to Charleston, South Carolina to visit my son. But I must say, so far, I'm really loving it. So now let's take a final look and see what kind of things I have in this truck. So let's talk about the foundation of this truck. It's actually the camper, the AluCab ModCap Camper, their newest and latest model. I selected a number of options to go along with this truck, but I'm going to mention two. The first is the windows. Put windows on both sides of the truck. I did it for both light and the fact that the little window opens up and provides some ventilation when you're inside. The second thing, and I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but is I have bug netting on all the doors. This will allow me to open up any door, be inside, and allow for protection against any bugs. So those are the two big options. There's a bunch of other things that I've done to the truck, but those are the two worth mentioning. Move on down here towards the tires, wheels, and suspension. What I did was I put a 3-inch lift using an AEV high performance suspension kit, and threw on 35-inch Goodrich KO3s, converting from the 33-inch tires that came with the truck when I originally bought it. I think that's plenty. I have no intention ever to go to anything larger. I think this is the perfect size for this vehicle for me, the way I use it. As we come to the front of the vehicle, I think there's only two things really important to mention. Number one is I added what I really wanted to get on this truck was an AEV front EX bumper. I have loved this look for all the years that I've seen it, and it was really one of those items that I wanted to add. I also added a Warn Xeon 10S winch, something that there for security's sake, but I hope I never have to actually use it. Moving over to the driver's side, the only thing I'll mention about this at this point is the AluCab 270 shadow awning. I originally expected to put on the Kinsman awning that I had, but it was too hard to overcome some of the mounting requirements for the AluCab, so I ended up switching up to the shadow awning. Next, let's talk about the power that I put in this truck. The entire system is built around a Red Arc management system, which I have installed using the GP Factor unit purposely built to put on the AluCab Canopy campers. Expensive, yes. Sleek, yes. Capability, well, we'll see. That is tied into 200 watts of solar power on the roof, and a 100 amp or 150 amp Red Arc battery that's located into back in this unit here. Key is that besides the solar power, I can charge this off of the alternator for the truck, and there's also here shore power if I want to plug in while camping. Okay, switching from power systems, let's talk about heating systems. I built this around a Dickinson P9000 propane heater. That's the pipe that comes out to allow air to go in and out. And then it's tucked away here on the side of the interior. And as you can see, it looks like a little fireplace when you light it up, gives a little ambiance. More important, it provides enough heat to make you comfortable, but not too much heat where it overpowers the whole cab. So yeah, that should be a much bigger improvement from anything that I've ever had before, because I had no heat before. And I'm looking forward to being able to turn it on when I need it and keep it nice and toasty. So let's next move to the water systems. So for water systems, I built around the AluCab 50 liter, about 13 gallons of water that you can just fill up using a hose from a source, and should give you plenty of water for an extended period of time. Then down in here, if you can see, that's a guzzle filtration system so that I can take water from almost anywhere and end up with clean water when I use it. And that's powered by a Julka water pump, and gives just enough pressure for things like a shower, and enough to get through the filtration system to end with the clean water. Okay, so as I mentioned, shower, and what I've done is I've added a Julka hot water heater, which will allow me to heat up water for any kind of use, but most importantly a shower. And to go along with that, I added the AluCab shower cube, which will give me a bit of privacy when I need it, not only for a shower but for doing other business as well. So let's take a quick look at storage. If anybody's ever traveled by vehicle, they know storage is a big issue. So I made the investment into goose gear cabinetry. Rather expensive, but high quality, and I figured I'd have this truck for a while. So each of these cabinets, there are some drawer systems, and then there's cubby holes inside each of the cabinets that allow me to store an awful lot of things. I also have MOLLE pretty much everywhere that I can hook things up to, including the back door here, as well inside the cab itself. I have all my kitchen gear stored in this Zargus case, which not only is storage but allows me to do this as a step up into the cab. It makes it easy. In terms of fuel storage, extra fuel, I have my Rotopacks in 813 fabrication mounts, and what I love about this is I'm able to get two of these Rotopacks stored kind of out of the way, but certainly available between the canopy and the cab itself. Next is a Rome 95-liter case, and inside that case I keep all my recovery gear. As well, up under the cover I have my Starlink Mini hooked up so that I can actually use it in a mobile fashion. Lastly, I'll mention here is the Goose Gear 40% delete system, where I've stored the Snowmaster 42-liter fridge. Obviously this is important. I was able to get additional storage in a place that I don't often use, and still maintain a couple of seats back here for regular passengers and travel. One last item I'll talk about here is a homemade kind of coat attic where I can store all coats and things like that up there for easy access, but also out of the way. So that's a lot of the storage system. One of the things I also want to mention here is that I literally replaced the AluCab mattress with a Hess dual long mattress, and the 6 nights that I have on this thing have shown me it was an investment well worth the spend. Very, very comfortable. I love it. I want to mention these cushions that I made. Yep, I did a hand sewing the first time I ever sewed, and what I did was I took the fabric from the AluCab mattress and just cut it up and resewed it into these 3 cushions that will allow me to have quite a bit of comfort while I'm sitting here in the cab at night, or in a rainstorm, or whatever, whenever I'm in the cab. Speaking of 813 fabrication, I just mentioned one other item I added here from them, and that was their deadbolt system. can kind of see the device there and the bolt I just showed you, but that allows me to have this tied into my fob for the truck and just basically lock and unlock using my normal truck key. A big help, really makes a big difference. I guess the last thing I'll mention here is a propane storage, is a GP Factor mount for a 10-pound propane tank, and propane is the other fuel that I use mostly on this from my heating, cooking, water heater, things like that. So yeah, that's a lot of the different things that I have on this truck. Okay, so that's the truck build. You know, even though I only have 6 nights so far in it, I can tell you that I'm pretty thrilled with the end result. Not only do I feel like I've increased a lot of capability in my overland travels, but honestly, I just love the look and feel I get while driving the truck and being around the truck. I really love it. But 6 nights isn't enough, and it's time for a real test. And so in about 6 days, no, not in about, in 6 days, I leave for a 60-day trip up to Alaska. And that'll give me the real feel and the real test for how well this truck was set up. And yeah, I'll have some small changes, I'm sure, but right now I'm not seeing anything that I'm missing that it's going to require me to do any major overhauls. So we'll see how it runs, and I look forward to that trip, and hopefully you'll come along with me. But for now, thanks for joining me on this truck build, and happy travels.